It all began with a tense exchange that no one saw coming. During a press Q&A at a youth political summit, Barron Trump, appearing for the first time in a semi-public speaking capacity, made a remark that sent shockwaves across the political and media landscapes. With a steady gaze and a poised stance reminiscent of his father, Barron called out several Democratic representatives. But it was when he pointed at Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett that the tension hit its peak. Frankly, he said, "I think Jasmine Crockett is unfit to serve the American people. Her priorities are misplaced, her rhetoric divisive, and her commitment questionable." The room went silent as cameras flashed and journalists whispered to each other, eager to seize what was sure to be the headline of the night. Many assumed Barron was simply parroting partisan views. But the audacity of calling a sitting member of Congress unfit without providing specific examples drew mixed reactions from both supporters and critics. Social media platforms exploded within minutes, with hashtags like hashtag Barron vs. Crockett and hashtag Unfit trending on X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok. For Jasmine Crockett, it was not the first time she'd been criticized, but this was different. Coming from someone so young and so publicly connected to a former president, the impact was swift and widespread. Jasmine Crockett, known for her calm demeanor in interviews and powerful voice in Congress, responded not with a press release or a rebuttal on social media, but with silence at first. That silence lasted hours, then a day, and people began to wonder if she was preparing something significant behind the scenes. Rumors flew that she would call a press conference. Others believed she might file a formal complaint, and yet others speculated she would brush it off as political theater. But Crockett had other plans. The next morning, in front of a packed House subcommittee session, she addressed Barron's comments indirectly. When young voices begin to echo old attacks, she said, "We must ask ourselves, are they speaking their own truth, or are they speaking someone else's script?" Then, without warning, she reached into her bag and pulled out a small USB device. The room went quiet. "What you're about to hear," she said, "will clarify everything." The congressional AV team connected it to the panel's system, and moments later, a previously unheard private conversation played through the speakers. The voice was unmistakably Barron, Trump speaking to a group of private donors and campaign advisors. What he said stunned everyone. The recording began with a joking tone, but quickly shifted into darker territory. Barron could be heard strategizing how to frame certain Democratic lawmakers as incompetent or divisive. "If we say someone like Crockett is unfit," he remarked, "it gives the base something to latch onto. Doesn't matter if its true perception wins." Gasps echoed throughout the chamber. Crockett stood still, arms folded, letting the silence do the talking. "I mean, come on," Barron's voice continued, her record's actually solid. "But the point isn't to debate policy. It's about controlling the narrative. Make her look unstable. Make people doubt her." The room froze. Members of Congress, journalists, and viewers at home struggled to process what they were hearing. It wasn't just a political disagreement, it was a confession of manufactured controversy. This wasn't about ideology, it was about manipulation. Crockett then spoke, this time directly. "Unfit," she said. "I'll let the American people decide who's unfit me, who serves them transparently, or someone who strategizes lies behind closed doors." The clip was already going viral before the hearing even ended. News outlets from CNN to Fox News ran the story non-stop. For some, it was a defining moment of the year, a young Trump revealing the mechanics of political strategy in a way most had only speculated about. For others, it raised ethical concerns about private recordings and political retaliation. But the real issue at the heart of the controversy was Barron's integrity or lack thereof. His image as a silent private Trump family member was now shattered. Meanwhile, Jasmine Crockett's reputation soared. Political commentators across the spectrum praised her poise, her preparation, and her brutal yet calm response. She had turned what could have been a smear campaign into a national conversation about truth in politics. The House Ethics Committee confirmed the authenticity of the recording and launched a formal inquiry into the circumstances surrounding the meeting. Though Barron wasn't a government official, The fact that he was coordinating political strategy in such terms raised eyebrows. Behind the scenes, Republican strategists scrambled to perform damage control, insisting Barron's words were taken out of context and not meant for the public. Jasmine Crockett, however, wasn't content to let the issue fade away. In an exclusive sit-down with PBS NewsHour, she discussed the broader implications of the recording. "What troubles me," she said, "is not that someone insulted me. I'm in politics. I'm used to it. What troubles me is how calculated it was. How young voices are being weaponized without understanding the harm they're doing, not just to individuals, but to democracy itself." She went on to call for new discussions around political accountability, even for public figures who technically hold no office. The interview went viral, especially a clip where she said, "America's tired of theater. We want leaders." Online, her supporters rallied using the hashtag leaders, not actors, while several youth groups began publicly denouncing political manipulation in student leadership programs. Barron Trump remained quiet in the aftermath, issuing only a statement that he regretted any offense but stood by his right to express political opinions. Still, the damage was done. Crockett had managed to pull the curtain back on something far deeper than a personal insult. In the weeks following the incident, Barron Trump's public appearances diminished significantly. Scheduled college visits were canceled. His personal advisor, a longtime Trump family ally, stepped down quietly, citing personal reasons. Meanwhile, Jasmine Crockett's inbox flooded with messages of support from teachers, students, and even some Republicans who were privately outraged at the strategy revealed in the recording. One particularly emotional message came from a high school civics teacher in Ohio, who wrote, "You didn't just defend yourself, you defended the truth. Thank you." Crockett posted the message on her official Congressional X page with the caption, "We lead by example, even when the attacks are personal." The post received over 1 million likes. Her next public town hall drew record-breaking crowds, and fundraising for her re-election campaign skyrocketed. It was clear, in trying to paint her as unfit, her opponents had inadvertently amplified her leadership and moral authority tenfold.